Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. In today's video we have one breaking news that we will start with and then three different topics. I was not sure this morning if I wanted to do really two different videos because two topics are Mercato with Merino, that is really a serious target about Juventus, and today I want to deep dive into that news because it's really serious. And secondly, it's the goodbye of Joe Montemurro, coach of the first team women. And people that are absolutely not interested in women football, pay attention because I don't want to go that much into detail about women football, but the impact that this news can have on first team. And the third topic that will be there in the middle is Gravina and Juventus again on the first pages, about topics that are not on the field but off the field. Well, I studied that much this morning to really understand what is going on with Gravina, Suarez, Juventus. It took me too much, and probably I'm too late to record two separate videos. I will put everything in one video, I will try, let's see. But I don't know how long it will take. So maximum of like if you appreciate the work that I'm doing every single day. Also because it's not just headlines, but really understanding what is going on. Maximum of subscription if you didn't yet. Now we start with a breaking news that is a total disaster. Why? Because before recording that, everything was already set up. Notification, Juventus, Twitter, with a breaking news report of the physical condition of Carlos Alcaraz. In 10 days, in 15 days, he will be re-evaluated. What does that mean? That in 10 days, 15 days, he will not be there on the field. There will be a new re-evaluation of the physical problem. What happened yesterday in training session, there was a muscular problem for the Argentinian young boy, and we don't know how long he will miss. 2 games? Certainly. 3 games? Certainly. And then from there, we have no idea. Is the season over? I don't want to exaggerate. We don't know. But it's really annoying for multiple reasons. First one, because we have him on a loan to test him until the end of the season to understand, not that we will go with 50 million to Southampton, but how much we really want to start the negotiation with the bid with Southampton to see if he can be part of Juventus 24-25. Well, with 11, 12 games, I don't know how many games we still have left, and him missing 3, 4, 5, well, it's over. We don't know. Especially in a moment where he had the opportunity, unfortunately, but with missing players in his role, to be a starter of Juventus, where he didn't really shine against Napoli. Second chance for him at home from the start. It is over. And it's a pity, because without Rabiot, certain he will not be there against Atalanta. With a McKennie that we don't know if he really will be 100% ready, it's a total disaster. So that's one. We'll speak about it later, maybe today in a live. Maybe there will be a live this evening. Tomorrow we'll speak about that, but it's a disaster. It's really a disaster news. Now, immediately we jump to the other one. Corriere dello Sport, Signora, il conto. Lady, the bill. What are they speaking about? Well, financial forecast and plans of Juventus that are convinced that in 2 years from now, so in 24 months, they can be back in really a real competition, a really solid club with, not sure if it's green number, but at least stable numbers in the books. Here we are not speaking about competition on the field. We are speaking about competition in the books to be a solid team again in terms of spending power, etc., etc. And Juventus is already starting to think about a plan A, a plan B. For next season already, not in 24 months, already from next season, with Allegri, without Allegri. Of course, everything and every decision about Max Allegri and a lot of players will be postponed until the end of this season. Why? Because qualification in Champions League, I already told you, it's important, and it's also written on Corriere dello Sport. That's why I'm telling you, and also to understand that FIFA World Cup for clubs where Lazio is already out, and depending who will go through between Napoli and Juve. And then at the end of the season, or at least when everything is mathematically already decided, we will start having our questions. A question that is not only involving Max Allegri, but also the future question mark of Adrien Rabiot. We know that last year he waited until the last moment before renewing for 1 year only. What will happen for the future? At the moment we know it. Adrien always said, I want to wait until the end of the season, or at least April, May, before really starting the discussion. Then we will see. We are still not there. So everything is going according to plan. But Juventus really need to think, what with Rabiot? 2 years extension is a minimum. You can't continue with 1 year, 1 year, 1 year. Does he want to? Doesn't he want to? Is he waiting to understand if yes, we will participate to 1 or 2 competitions, 1 European competition, 1 world competition? What will be his salary? Because we know it, Decreto Crescita is over. So it's a big rebus. It's a big question mark to Rabiot. And that's why Juventus is thinking also about a plan B. A plan B that yesterday we went really briefly on it, but I really want to insist on how important that news is. It's the name of Mikel Merino, midfielder of Real Sociedad. Why am I insisting on that name? Why am I telling that it's a serious name? First of all, because Cope Manners, there are interest from Premier League, and Atalanta is going with sky-high rocket numbers. 60 million euro. It's over for Juve. It's over. I don't even know if Juventus really wanted to sit at the table at 50 million. So let's not even speak about 60 million euro. In Gazzetta, they are speaking about a possibly counterpart or inserting a player like Soulé, which dropped the price. But even Soulé plus 35 million euro to RIT is way too much. So forget at the moment about Cope Manners, especially if Atalanta keeps this number. But we saw during Real Sociedad against Paris Saint-Germain of Champions League, where the Spanish team has been eliminated, Giuntoli in the stadium watching the guy. I tell you, when Juventus are scouting a player, they send people that are part of the team of scouts. When Giuntoli is moving, it means that the scout, the pre-work has already been done. I have a good memory. Unfortunately, I don't know which time it was, but we already spoke about the name of Mikel Merino. Not really seriously, but it was already something that we already spoke about. So the scouting work has already been done. The reports, the file are already sent to Giuntoli. Now Giuntoli, he went in first person. If he doesn't want to be seen, he doesn't go there. So when he's going in first person in the stadium watching a Champions League game between Real Sociedad and Paris Saint-Germain, it means that not only he's there to scout, he's not only there to watch him from close, but he also maybe, probably already want to start the first contacts. Who knows with the club? Because Mercato never sleeps. Mercato is crazy, and even if officially it starts on the 1st of July, well, it's already now that you start. Doesn't mean that you go and sign a player, but first starting with the negotiation, because what do we know at the moment? Mikel Merino, 27 years old, has a contract until the end of 2025, so 1 more season. If he doesn't renew, Real Sociedad, probably they want to cash in. They signed him from the past from Newcastle for 12 million euros, so selling him with a bit more at 1 year of the end of the contract, it's all profit for them. And probably that's why Giuntoli is there in first person. So the name of Mikel Merino is a real name. So who is he? He's a player that has already European experience. Played in Borussia Dortmund in Bundesliga, played in Premier League with Newcastle, played now at Real Sociedad, already has Champions League experience, player of, I told you, 27 years old, so 1 year less than Rabiot. And why am I speaking about Rabiot? Because both players have more or less the same characteristics. Player that can play with the left foot, because left foot player like Rabiot, player that can play in that midfield as a mezzala on the left, but also in a 2-man midfield, so he's a bit flexible in the midfield position. A player that is quite physical, if you're looking at how many yellow cards he has. It's an aggressive player, a player that already scored this season 6 goals in all competition, 35 games played, 6 goals, 5 assists in 35 games. It's not bad for a midfielder. A player that is huge, big, is 189, so 1 centimeter more than Adrien Rabiot, and that's why Juventus is really looking for him. In case Rabiot would leave, you have a Merino that is ready to fit there with minimum value because he has 1 more year of contract. Does that mean that it's a player that you can't sign if Rabiot stays? No, he could possibly also be there on top of Adrien Rabiot, but at the moment there are voices of him or Rabiot. So pay attention to the name of Merino, that is really a real target on top of all the other players that are in that list, like not Coop Manners that much anymore, unfortunately, I think, but a Samarsic, a Ferguson, etc., etc. Juventus is also monitoring Portugal with Sporting, with a player that is called Diomande, that was finalist of that Golden Boy, 20 years old, 190, huge player, a defender, to be next to Jalot in case of Bremer leaving for Premier League, cashing in a lot, or next to Bremer if he stays. I don't want to give too much importance here on that player because there will be so many names and we have too many things to speak about. The only thing is his value is 40 million euro, but again, according to Tuttosport, it's not a problem because Sporting is interested in Caio Jorge, and that can make sure that the value of the player, or at least the price that you are paying in money, is going a bit dropping. Now, I want to speak about that second topic. So we are here at 10 minutes about Gravina, about Juventus, about Suarez. What is happening again, Beppe? What the hell is happening? That's probably the question that you have if you read the last days. What are the papers speaking about? What is going on social media? Why is Gravina under investigation? Why are again Juventus and Suarez on the first pages? You see it on Gazzetta dello Sport, the face of Gravina. Gravina under investigation is the title. Tuttosport, così hanno usato Suarez contro la Juve. Like this, in this way, they used Suarez against Juve. So let me explain you a bit. I made my homework today. Yeah? So, a big investigation is going on in Italy called illegal dossier. It's not only about football, but football is also part of it. What is it? An abusive consultation of files that you didn't receive the permission to check, to control, to use these files. This is what it all is about. Dossier illegale. Illegal dossier. So there are some people, prosecutors and so on, they go into a database abusively because they are looking with a lot of things without having the permission to have access to this. And they are using it to create investigations that are real, that should not even start because the consultation of these are abusive and are not legal. So we have a big problem in Italy, and it's not only regarding calcio, but we are speaking about football, so we concentrate on that one. But from these illegal consultations, a real legal investigation started against Gravina. Should not even be legal, but now it is a real legal authorized investigation against Gravina. What is Gravina under investigation for? Actually, in these files, they found out, first of all, that there was a problem with the sales of TV rights of 3rd Division Italy Serie C in 2018 when he was on top of it, when he was president of it. Secondly, also emerged from these things and so on, there is the sales of antique books, which Gravina is a collector, which are not a problem, but apparently there are so many parts involved that money turned, and at the end this money was used to buy an apartment in Milano from Gravina that he gave or is renting, I have no idea, to his stepdaughter. These things, they put him even aside. It's not even a problem at the moment because they should not have the right for investigating it, for having these files. The problem is that now, with all the information that they got, they really started an investigation at the moment where they are speaking about self-laundry, money laundry. That money has been used with other things for doing other purposes, not sure from that money if it is correct or not. And there we have a huge, big problem. Yesterday, Gravina went alone himself to the prosecutors to being heard, and we go with a problem because he went alone to being heard. He was suspected. It was not yet under investigation. From that moment on, officially, he went under investigation. So what did he say? What were the report? What were the conclusion? Well, at the moment now, he's under investigation for self-laundry, and that's a big problem. This is a huge problem for Gravina. Yesterday, the lawyers of Gravina, they spoke in front of the microphone. They said he went alone because he was not happy, because he was annoyed because he was pissed off of all the fake information that were public, and he's absolutely not accepting it, and he's going in front of microphones, in front of the judges to speak, to explain his theories. When we are saying he was annoyed, he didn't accept, he was not happy about so many information, a lot of them that were not correct, that were put on first pages, online articles. What are we thinking about? Of course, we are thinking about Juventus. How many times did I tell you that one of my first battle on the channel, except of fighting for my team, defending my team, speaking about football on the field, well, it is the mass media, the mass manipulation of media that really want to put with big headlines, etc., a distortion of the reality to influence people to think what they are thinking about. This has always been my first battle on the channel, a battle that I have always tried to fight since 2006, but I didn't receive the tools for. Now with my channel, I always try to speak about. Now, Suarez case. Why are we still speaking about Suarez? What happened? Juventus back then, they really wanted to sign Suarez, and they booked, when they understood that he had not a real valid passport to play in Italy, because we already had an extracomunitario, they booked an exam for him to pass the Italian language. From that moment on, if he succeeded, he would have become also an Italian player, partially second citizenship, and was allowed to play for Juve. Juventus, they asked info with Paratici about timing, about how it would have gone, etc., where they understood it is not feasible anymore. We took ourselves out of it. Suarez, at that moment on, he said, I already have the appointment that is booked. In the future, you never know. It's always good to have a second passport that is also European, that is Italian, so that if in case I need to go to another team, I would not have a problem. So I will go for that exam. Unfortunately, that exam has been a big farce. Too easy, manipulated in a way. Not with Juventus. Juventus, at that moment on, they already took themselves away from that situation. Suarez received that exam. He passed the exam. It's good. He successed the exam. The problem now is that after it, a lot of files were consulted, that were absolutely not okay, because there was absolutely no permission to consult these files, and out of context audios, out of context reports have been sent to journalists. These journalists started to publish them with online articles and then in big front pages. And we all remember these front pages where we were already having the YouTube channel. We already spoke about it. We followed it step by step. So, not authorized abusive consultations of files, and these files, without any request, out of context, a part of here, a small part of that conversation have been sent to journalists with only one mission. Put dirt on the name of Juventus. Let them finish again, boom, on big pages. Of course, what is the consequence of people that are reading only headlines and not taking the time and manipulated by big shocking images? Juventus is guilty. Juventus is again in problems. Juventus off the field again. And it starts to be there. Unfortunately, after a few weeks or months, no, 6 months, by the way, after 6 months, when Juventus, they actually never have been under investigation, or at least the managers, and when Juventus was shown not guilty at all, well, nobody, except of Tuttosport, nobody was reporting it with big pages on Gazzetta, on Corriere, on all the other tools and media tools, on television. Nobody was speaking. Yeah, maybe a sentence on page 24 under something in a small box there. Okay, Juventus is not guilty. So that at least they have a conscience saying, hey, we said that Juventus was not guilty. But the impact is totally different today. Still, people are blaming Juventus for trying to manipulate these exams, while Juventus had absolutely nothing to see with how it went. A total disaster. And that's why I'm telling you, the objective has been reached. Putting Juventus in front page happened exactly the same with the plusvalenza case, Juventus, boom, in first page immediately, not waiting for the judges. Strange. Now we will see, because at the moment the names of the juries has not come out of who reported these leaks, etc., etc. Wait, the affair can be huge, can be big, and we will monitor it, of course, every single day here on the channel. But what I'm telling you, when I'm telling you that I'm always pissed off with these kind of news, well, it's a reality. It's a reality. Everything is manipulated. Everything put in big front pages is sensationalism, is we will already judge you before you go to the room. And if you're not guilty, we don't speak about it. If you're guilty, we will even put another charge on it. Third topic, equally important. Joe Montemurro, coach of first team women, yesterday has been dismissed. First of all, I want to say I'm really sorry. Why? Because I discovered that since a few years now, I'm working together with Juventus. I have the opportunity since a few years to speak with players, but also with coaches. And I had last year a beautiful collaboration with Joe Montemurro, where every Friday we were speaking with each other live for 30, 35, 40 minutes. It was really a beautiful experience. I not only understood the coach, because I'm following game by game, but also the person. I can tell you that Joe Montemurro, fantastic person that I really appreciate, and I'm sad to hear that. So, you know, when a coach is dismissed, when a player goes away, when a young player that I had the chance to interview goes on loan, I'm always a bit affected. So I'm really sorry for that. But I don't want to go towards, was it right, was it not right to stop the thing. I just want to go towards one big thing. It happened on the 6th of March 2024. And this is a big newness in Juventus of the last years. We know it, I always told you, Juventus, in their DNA, they don't sack the coach in the middle of a championship, especially if they are doing an okay result. It should be a total disaster before changing. In first team men, it didn't happen since the Ferrara time, etc., etc. But since Antonio Conte, didn't happen anymore since Juventus sacked a coach in the middle of the season. Something that I always appreciated, because you start a mission together, you finish a mission together, and then you analyze if you continue or if you interrupt at the end of the season. Now Juventus changing that with a big message sent to women first team. Will this also be something that in the future will happen to Juventus first team men? I believe there will be a big overhaul of coaches. What will happen with Brambrella from next gen, we will see. What happened with the women, we already know. It will be his vice coach that will take care until the end of the season. Then let's see. Probably the coach of Ajax women will come for Juve, but we are not sure yet what will happen with Allegri. So a lot of overhaul can be expected also in the coaches. But especially that point of stopping in the middle of the season with a coach, and it's not first team men, but it's first team women, it's super important. Has a big, huge impact for the future. Why? Because the management that is there today at Juventus is probably different than the management of in the past. A management that is taking the decision, the abrupt big decision, if we need to stop now because we are not convinced or whatever, we can do it. So that hypothetical thing of seeing it happening in the future with first team could possibly also happen, which was something that I was absolutely not expecting from Juventus in the last decennia, or maybe even more. On the other side, Braghin has been extended, so one management has been extended. It was Braghin, probably there were some discussion, or Braghin or Joe Montemurro. They took the decision to go with Braghin until 2027, also a person that I appreciate a lot. Did a live with him where he was just sharing football knowledge that was just incredible. Long video. Actually, I was thinking it would have been even longer. Tell me which part was the most interesting one. The breaking news about Alcaraz. Merino as a target. Gravina Suarez. Fourth, the possible impact of sacking a coach mid-season. Let me know. Thank you. Grazie, forza. Juve.